Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded, and it is time for our mini weather release, and I have two projects to share with you today. Hey, so I'm using Jaded Blossom's Gnome dies, Weather Add Ons, their Rainy Days stamp set and matching outline dies, along with their layered frame and journal die, their rainbow dies, and their girl gnome dies. And then I'm also using the Echo Park Sunny Days Ahead 6-inch pad. So first of all, I have two pieces of new leaf cardstock from Paper Tray Ink, 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches with my Martha Stewart scoreboard and my Teflon bone folder, working on my Stampin' Up! Pad as per usual. On the inside, I'm adding a piece of Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock cut at 4 by 5.25 inches, and I'm using my ATG tape to add that. All my die cutting today was done with my Gemini machine as per usual. There we go. I'm going to add the second one. Because the two card bases are the same color, I just thought I'd get, the assembly done for both of these at the same time, and then we will work on the fronts. There you have it. So easy stuff. Now I'm adding paper from that same pad. And that's like one of the border patterns, but I'll tell you the size. It is an 1/8 of an inch less than 2 inches wide. And then the other one is a 1-inch strip of paper from that same 6-inch pad. And I'll cut off the overhang with a pair of scissors. There we go. So easy stuff. Now I'm going to assemble some cards. So first I'm using this rainbow kind of striped print, and it is 1/8 of an inch smaller than the front of an A2 size card base. There we go. Sticking it down with my ATG tape again. And then the other one, I'm using this all over Singing in the Rain sort of pattern from that same 6-inch pad from Echo Park, Sunny Days Ahead. There you go. And I'll try and line that up. And there you have it. Now I have some pattern paper from that same pad, and I'm cutting them roughly, like the two on the outsides are 1 3/4 inches wide. This little umbrella print is 2 inches wide, but you won't see the 1 3/4 inch wide ones. They'll be underneath the 2-inch wide or the 2-inch wide one. So I was just using what I had, what was left over in the pad. So it is 2 inches by 5 inches. Or 1 3/4 by 5. I'll be fudging it with those ones. There we go. And that is my adorable little rain girl that I put together on the gnome assembly video. Just trying to decide where everything goes. Now I'm using that new leaf cardstock from Paper Tray Ink again, and I will be framing out those 3 pattern papers. So they're 1/8 of an inch larger than those strips that I cut. There we go. Just to make them pop a little bit more. Still trying to decide how it's going to look. There you go. For that little rain girl, the pattern paper is from that Echo Park Sunny Days Ahead, but I also used like a yellow classic gingham from Sunny Studios. So it's just kind of fun. Also Doodlebug yellow cardstock, but everything will be listed on my blog. So I'm just using my Fisker's trimmer to trim these little strips. And then I'm going to stick them down, the patterns in the center of these little frames. And I just find that it gives it a little bit more dimension. And I love that umbrella print. I just think it couldn't be more perfect for this card. And then I've got this pretty green print. And then this blue print as well. So I'm just sticking that down here. And then I'll arrange these on my card base. So first I'll put the 2 outside layers on. And I'm just trying to line up the edges. You know what I mean? Have the same space. And I'll do the same with the blue. And then that umbrella pattern will be in the center, and it'll sort of hide that they're cut off, that they're a little bit thinner in width, because they're going to straddle both of those layers. There we go. And I'm going to kind of put it to one side. And there we go. And I just think that looks so cute. So now I'm going to stick that down with that HEG tape again. And there you have it. And like I said, the cutest little girl. You could watch me put that together on the Gnome Dies Weather Add Ons assembly video that will be live today as well. There we go. Along with a little release and review. So 3 videos to check out today. There we go. I just love her little boots. I just think she's so darn cute. There you go. And then she'll be holding this adorable umbrella. So I'm using some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And then I'll use glue on the handle of that umbrella. I'm just going to trim off the edge here to, pop up just the edge of that, or the top of that umbrella. There we go. And then I'll peel off all that release paper. And then she'll be holding this pretty cute umbrella. So for the skin tones, I use the P13 Stamping Pad skin tones as well. Kind of like I usually do. I know that you can't get that anymore, which is too bad because I really like that pad. It's like perfect. And I bought multiples, so I'm sorry you're going to be seeing it in more videos. It's just the way it is. When I really like something, I'll stock up. Okay, so there's this sentiment I'm using. Rainy days are better with you. And I used the Rainy Days stamp set and the Rainy Days outline dies. And you'll see that I used the outline die to cut a few extra, just to add a few more layers behind it. And then I'll be using my Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to pop that little sentiment up. I just want everything to stay pretty level, so I'm just trying to decide, what kind of thickness I need. And then I'm using some scrapbook adhesives. These are a little bit thinner. And just so everything is level as it, straddles my little girl in the rain image. And like I said, the sentiment was stamped onto paper ink white cardstock with VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink. And there we go. And on the inside, I'm going to add the sentiment, no matter the weather, we are Gnomies forever. And now I'm starting on the second card. So I've got this piece of paper, and it is 1 3/4 inches wide. I'm going to trim it to, but I'm just trimming it to that because I want to follow the pattern. And also that's how much I had left of that piece of paper, right? See, it was kind of choppy, that piece. And I'm going to be adding that about 1/4 inch from the side of from the left side of the card. And I'll be using HEG tape to stick that down. It had that really cute, umbrella pattern on the back of that. I just love that umbrella pattern. It's so pretty. Okay, so now I'm trimming off the overhang with a pair of scissors, as per usual. There we go. And then I'm using the layered frame and journal die. And I cut it out of paper ink white cardstock, and then I cut it out of pattern paper from that same pad. That's the same paper that was used on the umbrella on my other card. I'm just going to, weight it down in between. And now I went ahead and I cut out the rainbow out of paper ink white cardstock. And I'm using Copic markers to color the different, pieces of the rainbow. So I used BG18, and then I'm using YG25. I just used colors that matched the pattern paper I chose. There we go. And then I'm using Y18. Oh, yeah, Y18. And I'm using some Post-it tape just to hold it down in place. And I'm also using YR18. And then R27. So this is really easy to do. And then lastly, R81, which is a pink that kind of matches what I have going on. There we go. And then I'm going to basically trace this little rainbow image out with pencil onto Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock. And I'm going to cut it just inside that outline, right? I could have made it a little bit smaller, but I'll just trim that up once I get all my little rays, or what is it called? Stripes, all my little rainbow stripes, all the colors on there. So I'm using my ATG tape, and then I'm going to start with one side and then work my way in. Line them all up. And as these will be sort of cut to fit inside that layered frame and journal die, the tops and the bottoms don't matter that much. I will be trimming them shorter, right? But there we go, getting it right in place. And then lastly, that R81, that pretty pink. But all the colors that I use will be listed. I'm just going to trim these off flat, and then I will trim off that little bit of white that's peeking out from the inside. And there we go. So easy stuff. And now I've got my little rainbow. And then I'm going to be sticking that on the inside of this little pretty layered frame and journal. I like using this little die set for shaker cards as well. I actually thought about that at first. There we go. So I'm just deciding where they go. And then I will trim off what's sticking out behind that frame. Just with a pair of scissors. There we go. And like I said, I always choose colors like Copic markers to go with my pattern paper. So now I cut out that same layered frame and journal out of Papertrink white cardstock and then Neenah Solar White. And I'm just using that to raise up that frame along the two bare corners, right? So it's all level with that rainbow. So when I stick it down on my background, I don't get any kind of dips. And it just keeps everything, nice and level is what I'm going for. There we go. Just making sure everything doesn't show. There we go. And I'm going to do the same to the lower right-hand corner. And I'll layer those and trim them off. And then I'll have a few more layers there to, layer up this little layered frame and journal die. So there we go. So kind of fun, right? Nice and easy. And then when it lays on this blue paper, that's from the same Echo Park Sunny Days Ahead pad. And it will stick down and be somewhat level. Isn't that cute? I just think it's really cute. Then I'm going to weigh that down. So now I'm going to add that on to my card base, just in the lower section of the card. And then I went ahead and I cut out the white clouds from the rainbow dies. Also, this little sun is from that Gnome Dies Weather Add Ons. So I cut it out of yellow paper from Echo Park that matches, that's the solids that matches the Sunny Days Ahead. And then I cut it out of Doodlebug yellow cardstock. So now I'm stamping the sentiment. It says, "Can't have a rainbow without a little rain. Verse Fun Claire Nocturne ink using my Misty." And that sentiment is from that new Rainy Days Ahead stamp set. And there we go. So there is my little sun, and I'll be popping that up with some dimensionals. Just making sure it's level. And I'll peel off the extras. I'm going to pull out my scrapbook adhesives just to add a little bit more dimension, just so things are level, because those are really, really thin. And then that little cloud is from the rainbow dies. I love those cloud dies from the rainbow dies. So cute. Cut it a Papertrink white cardstock. And I'm just trying to get things level again. So I'm going to have the sun peeking out Now that one right there is from the brand new Gnome Dies Weather Add Ons. It's got the really cute little cloud. So I'm going to have that just so the sun is peeking out from behind that. Just making sure it is level when it goes down. There we go. Isn't that cute? And then I'm going to add a little bit more dimension there to make sure everything is nice and straight. And then I'm going to pop up that third cloud. And you know, so it's a visual triangle, right? And then I will be, you know, have it all nice and even. And I just think this was a super fast and easy little card. So there we go. So now I'm pulling out Studio Katya's, they're called, what are they called? Clear Raindrops. And I'm using Glossy Accents as my glue. Just because it's a clear glue, and I kind of like that it dries shiny, so behind these shiny clear embellishments, you just won't notice it, so that's why I like that one. I'm using my Studio Katya embellishment wand to pick them up, and I'm using my little Simon Says stamp tray to hold all these little embellishments as I'm working with them. And I just love it. I think these are perfect because, you know, I buy these embellishments and then I forget that I have them, and I'm like, I'm using those darn raindrops this time, no matter what. I actually pulled them out as soon as I knew about this release. I pulled them out and put them on my desk so I didn't forget about them. So there we go, super cute stuff. I left the inside blank so I could, you know, choose what the occasion would be. Now I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to be adding those little raindrops again from Studio Katya to the outside of this card, just for fun, right? I just think it's so sweet. I love this little rain girl image. Also, the handle of the umbrella was cut out of American Crafts Christmas foil in silver. So just a silver foil cardstock. But like I said, everything will be listed on my blog, everything that I used. There we go. I just think that this is just the sweetest little image. So darn cute. Just making sure the raindrops are straight, because once they glue, you're out of luck. Okay, so now I'm pulling out my Doodlebug, and they're called I See You, and they're just little eyeballs, little enamel-shaped eyeballs, and I'm going to pop those down on the sun just for a little bit of fun. And on the inside, I cut an extra one of these layered frame and journal dies in pink because I thought that was what I was going to use, and I'm going to put that on the inside of the card because why not, right? Just going to put that down. I don't have a sentiment yet, but I will, when I do choose a sentiment, it'll be stamped on the bottom of that pink little frame. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, Be Inspired, the Jaded Blossom store, to get your hands on this amazing release. And, you know, check out all the videos. And that's all. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon in my next one. Bye, everyone.